Marriage. It's a beautiful dance of two souls, intertwined, striving for unity and love. But what happens when the music stops and we're left stepping on each other's toes? When resentment festers and misunderstandings cloud our vision? I've been there. I've felt the sting of unmet expectations, the weight of unspoken words, the bitter taste of disappointment. For years, my marriage felt like a battlefield. We were locked in a power struggle, each of us waiting for the other to change. I blamed my husband for our unhappiness, convinced that if he would just understand me, everything would be all right. But the more I pointed fingers, the deeper the chasm between us grew. We were trapped in a vicious cycle, our love slowly eroding under the weight of our grievances. It was a painful realization, but I came to understand that I couldn't change him. I could only change myself. And so began my journey of inward transformation, a journey fueled by prayer, self-reflection, and a deep desire to heal my relationship. It's easy to get caught in the blame game, to point fingers and make excuses for our own shortcomings. We tell ourselves, if only they would change, then everything would be better. But the truth is, lasting change begins with us. It starts with a humble heart, willing to look inward and acknowledge our own flaws. It's about taking responsibility for our actions, our words, and our thoughts. It's about recognizing that we are not victims in our relationships, but active participants, capable of shaping the dynamics we experience. This shift in perspective, from outward blame to inward reflection, is often the catalyst for true transformation. When we stop expecting our partners to change and instead focus on our own growth, we create space for healing and understanding to blossom. It's not about accepting unhealthy behaviors or becoming doormats in our relationships. It's about taking ownership of our own happiness and contributing positively to the relationship dynamic. Prayer became my lifeline, my sanctuary in the storm. Every morning I would pour out my heart to God, surrendering my pain, my frustrations, and my longing for a happier marriage. I prayed for guidance, for wisdom, and for the strength to change. But most importantly, I prayed for the willingness to see myself honestly, to confront my own flaws and shortcomings. It wasn't always easy. There were times when I felt anger, resentment, and even despair. But through it all, I clung to the belief that God was working in me, even when I couldn't see it. I learned to pray not for my husband to change, but for God to change my heart, to soften my edges, and to help me see him through the lens of love and compassion. Prayer wasn't about reciting empty words. It was about connecting with a power greater than myself, a source of love and healing that could transform my heart from the inside out. And as I prayed, I began to notice subtle shifts within me. My perspective softened, my anger subsided, and I found myself extending grace to my husband in ways I hadn't before. Self-reflection can be a daunting task. It requires us to confront the parts of ourselves we'd rather keep hidden, the insecurities, the fears, the unresolved wounds that shape our thoughts and behaviors. But it's in those dark corners of our hearts that true transformation begins. I started journaling, pouring out my thoughts and emotions onto paper. I asked myself tough questions. What role was I playing in the conflicts in my marriage? What were my deepest fears and insecurities? How were my past experiences influencing my present behavior? It wasn't always pretty. I uncovered patterns of defensiveness, control issues, and a deep-seated fear of vulnerability. I realized that I had been projecting my own insecurities onto my husband, expecting him to fill the voids within me. But the truth is, no one else can heal our wounds or make us feel whole. That's our own work to do. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not about condoning hurtful behavior or pretending that everything's okay. It's about releasing the grip that anger and resentment have on our hearts. It's about choosing to let go of the past and move forward with love and compassion. I had to learn to forgive my husband for his mistakes, just as I needed to forgive myself for mine. It wasn't easy. There were days when the pain felt too raw, the wounds too deep, but I clung to the belief that forgiveness was the only path to true healing, for myself and for my marriage. Forgiveness is a process, not a destination. It's a daily choice to release the bitterness, the anger, the hurt, and to embrace love and understanding instead. It's about choosing peace over resentment, hope over despair. And as I learned to forgive, I felt a weight lifting from my shoulders, a sense of freedom and lightness I hadn't experienced before. Change takes time. It's not a quick fix but a gradual unfolding, a journey of small steps and consistent effort. As I continued to pray, self-reflect, and practice forgiveness, I began to notice subtle shifts in my marriage. The arguments became less frequent, the tension less palpable. We started communicating more openly, listening with empathy instead of defensiveness. I started focusing on my husband's positive qualities, appreciating the things I'd once taken for granted. These were small victories, but they filled me with hope. It was proof that change was possible, that even deeply rooted patterns could be transformed with patience, persistence, and a willingness to do the inner work. It wasn't always easy, but with each passing day, I felt our bond strengthening, our love deepening. We all have the power within us to change, to heal, to create the relationships we desire. It starts with a decision, a commitment to personal growth and transformation. It's about taking responsibility for our own happiness and contributing positively to the dynamics in our relationships. It's not about becoming someone we're not, but about embracing our authentic selves, flaws and all. It's about recognizing that we are all works in progress, capable of growth, healing, and lasting change. And the most beautiful part? As we transform ourselves, we inspire those around us to do the same. When we focus on our own growth, we become beacons of light, radiating love, compassion, and understanding. Our relationships become a reflection of our inner transformation, a testament to the power of self-awareness, forgiveness, and unwavering faith. As I continued on my journey of self-discovery and personal growth, I witnessed a beautiful ripple effect. My husband, inspired by my willingness to change, began to examine his own behaviors and patterns. He became more open to communication, more willing to compromise, more present in our relationship. It wasn't always smooth sailing, but the difference was that we were now navigating the challenges together, with a shared commitment to growth and understanding. Our home, once a battleground, became a sanctuary, a safe space for vulnerability, love, and mutual respect. The transformation I experienced wasn't just about saving my marriage, it was about saving myself. It was about reclaiming my power, my voice, and my worth. And in doing so, I created space for my husband to do the same. We began to see each other with fresh eyes, appreciating the unique qualities that each of us brought to the relationship. Our journey is far from over, but we've learned that marriage is not about finding the perfect partner, but about becoming better partners ourselves. It's about choosing love every single day, even when it's hard. It's about embracing the journey of growth together. If you're struggling in your marriage, remember that change is possible. It starts with a single step, a prayer, a commitment to looking inward. Don't give up on yourself, your partner, or the power of love to heal and transform. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards are immeasurable. Remember, you are not alone. God is with you every step of the way, ready to guide you, strengthen you, and empower you to create the loving and fulfilling relationship you deserve. Embrace the journey of self-transformation and watch as love finds its way back into your heart and your home.